Hi, and welcome to the Frugal Technology Show. I'm your host, Bruce Naylor, where every week we talk about small business technology, how to make money with your computers, how to save money with technology, what's good, maybe what's not so good. And we're always glad to have you join us. And every week we have a theme for our show, and this week's theme is talking about file servers. What are they? Why do you need one? When do you need one? And so I just thought we'd take and spend a little bit of time about that, because servers tend to be a very significant investment for a small business. So I guess some of the question is, why should you buy a file server? Well, if you think about it, on your network, or if you have a network, or maybe you don't, but on your different desktop PCs, you got people kind of keeping data everywhere. So a file server is a way to bring all that data together in a centralized location. It's another way to share equipment. It's expensive. Scanners, multifunction peripherals, copiers, all these sort of things can be generally shared when they're hooked up to a server. You can run more powerful applications, line of business applications, when you have a server. Maybe it requires an SQL database, or we call it SQL, SQL, but more powerful line of business applications that require a server to run on. It's a centralized place to back up all of your company data. So that's a good reason to have it. And finally, there's better security. With Windows and some other operating systems, you have a way to authenticate a user and kind of set permissions of what they can and cannot do on the network. So that's all part of having that server. They are efficient. They're scalable. They tend to be more reliable. They're more powerful than using a desktop PC. Maybe in a work group kind of environment. We see that a lot of times when we go out in the field. A lot of small companies maybe have an XP Pro box and they've got some shares on it and people are saving their work to that. It's not the same thing at all. You don't have the authentication involved. You don't have the security involved. You don't have the ability to run server applications on it. It's it's a way to get started. But, you need to sit down and ask yourself, when is the right time to buy a server? And I was doing a little kind of research for this show and come across an excellent PDF file from Intel. And so, they provided a real nice PDF. And it says, is this the time to buy a server? So the first question that comes up, in your business, you kind of make this little checklist and see if this applies to you. That you, for example, you need an efficient, reliable way for multiple computers in your business to share information. And if you do, that's a good sign that your company is now ready for a server. How about if you need to protect your business information and network from unauthorized users? Hey, we all have to deal with that sooner or later. Maybe you have cleaning people, or you've got other people coming in and out of your place of business every day you don't know. It's a good idea to lock that network down, where you require usernames, passwords, strong passwords, etc., to protect the valuable data that lives on your company network. You need to back up information on a regular basis. I don't know how many times a company has had a real issue, a real problem. They've had a failure of some kind and they've lost data. And now it's a big, big problem, because they did not keep or maintain regular backups. Well, they didn't have a server, and this guy kind of copied some of his stuff to a USB drive, and maybe this guy's got some of the data on a thumb drive, and maybe this one didn't back up anything at all. And of course, now that all their emails lost, it could just get real ugly. And these companies, when they don't do this, it costs a whale of a lot of money to get their data back, and that's not counting things like fire or theft or any of the other things that can happen to your small business. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to have this central repository to keep your data for backups. Another thing is the benefit from sharing equipment such as printers and scanners. LaserJet printers are an expensive investment, and it makes a lot more sense to share that printer among many users rather than trying to get everybody their own printer. You can also set policies on printers, especially on one connected to a server. Maybe the times of day they can print. You can find out who was printing what. So you're saving a lot of money on these expensive pieces of equipment. Your employees need immediate, secure access to company information and resources away from the office. And products like Microsoft Small Business Server with the Remote Web Workplace allows your employees to do just that. They don't have to buy a service like GoToMyPC or anything like that. They can just connect right to the server and then right to their desktop PC and get access to the files they need. They can get Outlook over the web, access SharePoint. They can do all this stuff by virtue of this running in a server type environment. You and your employees need simultaneous access to shared files, email, or applications. It's going to happen. It probably is already happening in your business. And wouldn't it be great to have that central repository? Well, that's what a server does. You can have your own email server, file server, print server. You can, like I said, there's Microsoft Small Business Server that can kind of combines all those different server applications into one. You need to implement advanced software applications such as CRM tools. And again, that's one we were referring to earlier about more powerful line of business applications. These are some great applications to make your business better, make it more efficient, take customer service to a whole new level, but they're not going to run on a workstation or what we call a peer-to-peer network or work group. They have to run on a dedicated server platform. But if it's an investment, it's going to make you money, that's what you have to look at, your return on investment on the purchase of a server. You need to host your own website and email system. Well, there's certainly an intranet, for example, SharePoint Services, which runs on a server application or Microsoft SharePoint server. Hosting your own email, such as Exchange, requires to run on a server operating system. It depends where you're at in your business. That may or may not be, necessary, but, certainly you may be there at that point and have a need for that. You need to communicate more effectively with customers, employees, and suppliers. Again, this kind of comes back to, different line of business applications, hosting your own email, CRM, etc. And you want access to comprehensive business data and information, insight into your business's health. Again, you take different server applications, operating systems, and Microsoft Small Business Server and Windows Server, they have what they call health checks. So the system certainly is checking the state of its hard drive, CPU utilization, memory utilization, the various aspects of a healthy server, and issues you reports.